Shabbat Shalom, everyone. It's nice to see you. Glad to see you. Those of you who are out there watching us, we are here with the Sach family and Eli's bar mitzvah and lots of good friends. Is it nice to be here and to share with people? Isn't that great? It feels good, all right? Unless you have been tested with COVID-19 in the last 24 hours and you have tested free, we're expecting you must wear masks, please. That's our requirements. We're required in order to be here to adhere to all of those standards. I'm here doing it only when I'm talking, and I'm a safe distance away from everybody. But we really appreciate. We want to know everybody out there that we're adhering to all of the best safety measures that we have. You'll notice I'm wearing a talit. Not all of you are wearing a talit. You don't have to, and you're not even supposed to in the Mincha afternoon service. For the Jewish tradition, it's in the morning that we wear the talit, except for those who are going to be coming up to the Torah later. So those who are going to be doing a blessing and will be able to wear a talit. The others of you don't have to worry. The Mincha service, every day we have a Mincha. We have 3 services every day in the Jewish tradition: Shachrit morning, Mincha afternoon, Mariv or Arvit in the evening. Mincha on Shabbat, the only Mincha afternoon service we have where we read from Torah. It allows us to have a bar mitzvah and to be able to celebrate with Eli. Eli's bar mitzvah just is interesting today because it was supposed to be May 2nd. But for obvious reasons, postponed. But the family decided we're not postponing anymore. We're going to do it. And so Eli will be reading from the Torah portion, from a different Torah portion. We'll give you the pages later. And even doing a Haftarah, because originally, Monica, we were doing this on a morning service. So he learned the Haftarah. He won't do the blessings, but he'll share from the prophetic portions with us, and it'll be a lovely afternoon. You're going to be able to follow along, those of you who are here in the Red Sidor, the Lev Shalem, will be announcing those pages. Those of you at home, if you happen to have downloaded this, free, gratis from the Rabbinical Assembly, the Conservative Movement Organization, letting us use their PDF of the prayer book, you can find it. The Mincha service, page 214. Eli, I'm going to have you come up, okay, and you're going to lead us from up here. You're going to do the English. And you find on 214. So those of you who are here, by the way, with us, we expect you can to please respond, to sing, to pray with us so that we can feel your presence. And here again, they're going to be English. So Eli, go ahead.
Joyous are they who dwell in your house. They shall praise you forever.
Joyous the people who are so favored. Joyous the people whose God is Adonai.
I exalt you, my God, my sovereign. I praise your name always.
Every day I praise you, glorifying your name always.
Great is Adonai, greatly to be praised, though your greatness is unfathomable.
One generation praises your works to another, telling of your mighty deeds.
I would speak of your majestic glory and of your wondrous acts.
Generations speak of your awe-inspiring deeds. I too shall recount your greatness.
They recount your great goodness and sing of your righteousness.
Adonai is merciful and compassionate, patient and abounding in love.
Adonai is good to all, and God's mercy embraces all of creation.
All of creation acknowledges you, and the faithful bless you.
They speak of the glory of your sovereignty and tell of your might,
proclaiming to humanity your mighty deeds and the glory of your majestic sovereignty.
Your sovereignty is eternal. Your dominion endures in every generation.
Adonai supports all who falter and lifts up all who are bent down.
The eyes of all look hopefully to you, and you provide them with nourishment in its proper time.
Opening your hand, you satisfy with contentment all that lives.
Adonai is righteous in all that is done, faithful to all creation.
Adonai is near to all who call sincerely.
God fulfills the desire of those who are faithful, listening to their cries, rescuing them.
Adonai watches over all who love the Holy One, but will destroy all the wicked.
My mouth shall utter the praise of Adonai. May all that is mortal praise God's name forever and ever.
Amen. Page 217, Chatzi Kaddish.
Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabbah Be'omad yivrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei B'chayechon u'b'yomechon u'chayedecho Beit Yisrael Ba'agala ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן יהי שמי רבם מבורך לעלם לעלמיה יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתהלל ויתהלל שמי דקודשה בריחו לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה תאמירן בעלמה ואמרו אמן.
In usual times, if we would have taken out the Torah, we would have walked around, you would have kissed it, you would have been all over each other in the most wonderful way. But those days are behind us, so we're not going to be walking around with the Torah. But we want to acknowledge the Torah service and want to feel it. So Chazan Mimi is going to share with us and lead us al shlosha devarim ha'olam omed, on three things of the world stand: Torah, avodah, worship, gemilut chasadim, acts of loving kindness. Chazan Mimi.
Al shlosha devarim
those of you who are going to be following along with our Torah reading, you're going to find on page 1202 in the Chumash or Living, not in those small red books of Sidurim that you have, but instead page 1202. And these are the final words. This is the final chapter of the Torah, by the way. We're working our way up to Simchat Torah, which is next weekend, in which we finish the Torah, the final verses as we're reading here. And then on the next morning of Simchat Torah, we read the final verses, and then we start the Torah all over again. That's what we do. We never stop studying. You hear me, Johnny? We never stop studying. We always, right? You hear that, Eli? We always continue studying. That's what your parents want you to know. It never stops. You're always learning. And so these are the final words of Moses. By the way, he is 120 years old, as we'd say in Yiddish. I don't know what you say in Farsi. In Yiddish, we say, Kein Ahora. Right? It's like, evil eye, 120. By the way, he didn't die at 120 because he was old and withered and passing away, but rather he was vibrant. It's the first time, if you don't know, at creation, God actually promises that people are going to live only 120 years. It says they're only going to live 120 years. And yet, I think there's about 5, 6, or 7 people who live beyond 900 years, according to the Torah. Noah and Adam and others. And I talked about it in my sermon on time on Erev Rosh Hashanah, that we don't take those years literally. Like the fact that you believe, Gary, like someone lived 900 years? Absolutely, you believe that. There you go. So the idea is that somehow Moses is the fulfillment from the very beginning of the act of creation, this idea that we have limited lifespans, that we are mortal. And therefore, as we're learning this pandemic, to appreciate every day, every moment, and life has the blessings. At the very end, Moses blesses the people and then shares final words. And God says with a gentle kiss that Moses passes away and he's buried by God. By God's self, as we read in the text. It's a beautiful end to such an important life. I'm going to call forward Joel and Monica, parents of our bar mitzvah, and Eli. You're going to come up here, and your parents are going to share with you and then present you with officially with your talit, and you'll be able to put that on. All right. Make your way over here.
We're all negative. Eli's negative too.
There you go. All right, get close to that microphone. Get close. Look at your son. You've been waiting for this moment, Monica. I know you have. All right, and go ahead.
Today I stand here with profound joy and gratitude. Gratitude to watch my only son become an adult under Jewish tradition. Your bris was one of the happiest days of my life. I had a loving husband, a beautiful daughter, and a precious son who completed our family. Shortly thereafter, I was confronted with the biggest fight of my life. I remember coming home from chemotherapy feeling weak and defeated. But every time I looked into your big brown eyes and saw your radiant smile, I was infused with a deep sense of strength and hope. Every single birthday was both a celebration of your life and an annual grateful reminder of my recovery. Eli, you are my miracle baby and will always hold a special place in my heart. For many years, I struggled with the conundrum of your birth. How was my body able to grow a perfect life, yet simultaneously grow a life-threatening illness? Some questions in life have no answers. As you now move on from childhood onto the next stage of your life, complicated and challenging scenarios will inevitably fall along your path. Adolescence and adulthood will certainly pose questions that also do not have clearly delineated answers or solutions. My advice is that you must trust your instincts and stay true to your core values. Your entire essence is that of integrity, honesty, and compassion, and these values will be the foundation of living an honorable life. I love your passion and zest for life. Your optimism and charismatic smile are contagious. Your heart is kind and generous. You are adored by all around you, and this speaks volumes as to your character and personality. You have brought so much joy into my life, and I am so proud to call you my son. Continue living life to the fullest, putting forth your best effort, and most importantly, fostering loving, meaningful relationships throughout your lifetime. While success is important, being surrounded by people you love and making meaningful connections is the true key to happiness. The unwavering love and devotion I received from my parents and my brother, and then my husband, served as a pillar of strength and security throughout my entire life. Your father, sister, and I will also always be your rock as you navigate the ups and downs of life. We will always be here to support and guide you, to love you unconditionally, and to pick you up when you fall. I am so excited to watch you thrive in this new chapter as you embrace all of life's blessings and all your unique gifts and talents. There is no doubt in my mind that you have a beautiful future ahead. Mazel tov, my son. I love you forever.
Eli, you may not know this, but from the moment I witnessed your heartbeat on Monica's prenatal ultrasound, you snuggled right into my heart. You're indeed blessed with unique qualities that are perhaps best encapsulated by the spelling of your name. E, engaged, energetic, exuberant, and empathetic. L, living in the moment, loving life to the max, and a boundless laughter. I, intelligent yet humble, involved yet balanced. Eli, as you stand here in front of your family and friends in company of the Holy Scriptures, going through the same traditions that your ancestors practiced as slaves in Egypt, as kings in Judea, as prisoners in Babylon, and as immigrants from Iran, please allow me to bless you with some fatherly advice. Write down your dreams. Do not settle for ordinary. Elevate and excel. You're blessed with many gifts. Grow them. Open doors for everyone. Remain humble, especially when you peak in life. Be brave. Be silly. Be your own magic. Be adventurous. Be full of surprises. Never stop to laugh. Never stop to love. Never stop to learn. Live life to its fullest, but we all know you already do that. Be kind, be free, and most important of all, be you. Because God knows, as your father, I can tell you that I love everything about you. Sometimes when I need a miracle, Eli, I look into your big eyes and realize I have already created one. I want you to remember to never give up no matter what. I want you to keep going ahead even if it pains a lot. I want you to understand that life can be unfair sometimes. I want you to know that a wise person knows that there is something to be learned from everyone. I want you to know that what comes easy won't last, and what lasts won't come easy. But most importantly, I want you to remember that we will always be there for you. May you one day be blessed with what your mother and I and Layla were blessed with. A happy, compassionate, intelligent, energetic, empathetic, exuberant, and fun-loving son who will make you as proud as you made us. Eli, you're the only man who has stolen my heart. Someday, when the pages of my life end, I know that you will be one of its most beautiful chapters.
You're going to take that talit now from your parents, Eli, and recite the blessing.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehitatef b'tzitzit.
Amen.
Amen.
And by the way, Eli, your father, not many fathers will do this, but so that you would remember all of these words and never forget what he shared with you in terms of advice. I have not seen this before, but your father actually had it permaplaque, so you can put it in your room and make sure that you read it and remember it. All right, Chazan Stein is going to call up Monica and Joel as the first aliyah.
Ya'amdu Yehuda ben Avraham udvora umalka bat Shimon v'Dina v'Sara bat Yehuda umalka Rishon.
After they recite the blessings, Chazan Mimi will read for us of the book of Deuteronomy.
Baruch hu et Adonai HaMevorach.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Amen. V'zod habaracha asher beirach Moshe ish ha'Elohim et bnei Yisrael lifnei moto vayomar Adonai Misinai ba v'zarach miseir lamo Hofia mehar paran ve'ata merivot kodesh mimino eshdat lamo av chovev amim kol kedoshav biyadecha vehem tuku l'raglecha yisa midaberotecha Torah tziva lanu Moshe Morasha Kehilat Yaakov Vayehi Vishurun Melech Behid Asef Roshe'am Yachad Shivtei Yisrael Yechi Reuven Ve'al Yamod Vihi Metav Mispar Vizot Lihuda Vayomar Shema Adonai Kol Yehuda Ve'el Amo Tivienu Yadav Rav Lo Ve'ezer Mitzarav Tiyeh.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam nota betochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. All right, there you go. Woo! All right. All right, we're going to call up officially the grandparents. If you'll make your way over to the microphone over there. Chazan, please.
Ya'amdu Shimon ben Elazar v'Taran Udina bat Faruch uNasar Udvora bat Esther ve'Ayub Sheni.
And the grandmothers as well. You can face it towards this way. There you go. Baruch le'olam va'ed. Amen.
Amen. Ulalevi amar tumecha ve'urecha leish chasidecha asher nisito b'masa tirivehu al mei meriva ha'omer la'aviv ule'imo lo re'itiv ve'et echav lo hikir ve'et banav lo yada ki shameru imratecha uvritecha yinsoru yoru mishpatecha leYaakov v'toratecha leYisrael yasimu kitorah be'apecha v'chalil al mizbechecha barech Adonai chelo Ufo al yadav tirtzeh mechat motnaim kamab umsan ab min yikumun levinyamin amar yedid Adonai yishkon lavetach alav hofef alav kohayom uven ketefav Shachen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'hayeh olam nata b'tochenu Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Mobarak. Very nice for the grandparents. Give them a little la 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 la. Come on, everybody. They deserve it. Eli, go ahead. You'll get the card. And Chazan Stein, you're going to call up our bar mitzvah officially.
הבחור הבר מצווה יעמוד אליהו בן יהודה ומלכה שלישי חזק
ברכו את אדוני המבורך.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Leolam Vahed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Leolam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher Bachar Banu Mikol Ha'amim V'natan Lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen. Eli's reading from his portion of Achrei Mot Kedoshim. So those of you who are looking, you can find it in the book of Leviticus. That's how long ago it was. Chapter 17, beginning verse 1. If you have a Chumash here, it's page 685. Go ahead, Eli.
וידבר אדוני אל משה לאמור, דבר אל אהרון ואל בניו ואל כל בני ישראל, ואמרת עליהם, זה הדבר אשר ציווה אדוני לאמור, איש איש מבית ישראל אשר ישחט שור או כסף או עז במחנה, או אשר ישחט מחוץ למחנה, ואל פתח אוהל מועד לא הביאו להקריב קורבן לאדוני לפני משכן אדוני, דם יחשב לאיש ההוא, דם שפך ונכרת האיש ההוא מקרב עמו, למען אשר יביאו בני ישראל את זבחיהם אשר הם זובחים על פני השדה, והביאו לאדוני אל פתח אוהל מועד אל הכהן, וזבחו זבחי שלמים לאדוני אותם, וזרק הכהן את הדם על מזבח אדוני פתח אוהל מועד, והקטיר ההלב לריח ניחוח לאדוני, ולא יזבחו עוד את זבחיכם לשעירים אשר הם זונים אחריהם חוקת עולם. תהיה זאת לכם לדורותם. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר נתן לנו תורת אמת וחיי עולם נטע בתוכנו. ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה.
Amen. Don't throw anything yet, not yet, not yet. Big moments, not yet. It'll come. I come. In Hebrew, it's savlanut. It's a little bit of patience. I know Persian tradition, you want to celebrate, but I promise at the end of the Haftarah, which he's going to do in just a moment, normally celebrate, but on this day, do me a favor, Eli, as I'm warming up here for you, why don't you just close the Torah scroll and then put the cover, right, just put it on top gently, and then you can get out the Haftarah, because Eli is going to share with us what he would have read on May 2nd with Acharei Mot and Kiddushim, and that Haftarah, we're going to find on page, those of you who wish to follow, on page 706 from the prophet Amos. And before he begins sharing this Haftarah, he won't do the blessings though, because it's not a Shabbat morning, but we're going to share, you can always share from the prophets. And after he finishes his introduction, he's going to share and read from the Haftarah itself. Eli, you ready to share your words of wisdom?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
My Torah portion is Kedoshim, and I want to share what I learned with all of you. There are many laws found in my Torah portion, which include giving to the less fortunate and needy, respecting your neighbor as yourself, and no cheating, stealing, or lying. In my preparation, I was most interested to focus on the part of my portion where God commands Moses to tell the Israelites that they, and all Jews to come, must respect their mother and father. As I read this, I question why the Torah commands me to respect my mother and father and does not command me to respect other family members such as siblings and cousins. I believe the Torah only commands me to respect my mother and father because they do so much for me, and in order to pay back all they have done for me, I must have the utmost respect for them. Also, my parents provided me with most of my things in my life, such as food on my table and clothes on my back. As I approach becoming a bar mitzvah, respecting my mother and father is important to me because I feel like my parents have done so much for me that I cannot describe in words, such as taking care of me when I am sick, keeping me safe, and most importantly, loving me to the ends of the earth. So I feel as I become a bar mitzvah, I must learn to give back to them for all they have done for me. By giving back to them, I do not just mean respecting them. I mean being there when they need somebody, helping them with everyday chores, and doing everything in my power to make their lives just that much easier. During my time in quarantine these past few months, I've seen firsthand how often such sacrifices are made. Not all kids are as fortunate as me to be born into a family with such supportive, loving parents. This is why I am especially reminded to be grateful for these blessings and carry out God's words of respecting my parents. Another reason why my Torah portion is important to me is because Kedoshim also mentions that people must give to the less fortunate. This is especially special to me because my Bar Mitzvah project is raising money for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. I hope that continued research efforts will eventually lead to a cure for this disease, a cause dear to my heart as my mother is a lymphoma survivor. I would like to extend a sincere thanks to the clergy, my family, and my friends for helping me reach this moment of becoming a bar mitzvah. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom. Go ahead, turn the page.
Halo kivnei chushim atem li Bnei Israel ne'um Adonai Halo et Yisrael Ha'eleti me'eretz Mitzrayim Uflishti mikaftor vayaram mikir Hinei Einei Adonai Elohim Bamamlacha chachata'a Vehishamaditi otam me'al penei ha'adama Efes ki lo hashmid et beit Yaakov ne'um Adonai ki hinei anachi metzaveh Vehanioti bechol hagoyim et beit Yisrael Kasher yinoa bakevara velo yipol terror aretz Bacherev yamutu kol hata'ei ami haomerim lo tagish vetakdim ba'adenu hara'a bayom hahu akim et sukat David hanofelet vegadarti et pirsehen vaharti sotav akim uvanitiha kimeolam Laman yireshu et sherit Edom v'chol chagoyim asher nikra shemo alehem ne'um Adonai osezo Hine yamim ba'im ne'um Adonai v'nigash choresh b'kotzer v'dorei chanavim b'moshech Hazara vehitifu hecharim asis vechol hagvaot titmogagna veshavti et shevut ami Yisrael uvanu arim neshamot veyashavu Venatu cheramim veshatu et yenam ve'asu ganot ve'achelu et pirihem untatim al adematam velo yinateshu od me'al adematam asher natati lahem amar Adonai Elohecha.
You stay right there, Eli. It's you and me right now. Mobarak. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. You feeling great? You've been waiting for this for a long time, haven't you?
Yeah.
And by the way, Hazan, I don't know if you noticed that, I don't know if either of you noticed it was Bashert, right? That he should, on this Shabbat, that he should move to, because the Haftarah mentions Sukkot. Right? I don't know if you all heard it. Akimas Sukkot Hanofelet Davi, right? Yes. That it was the uplifting of the fallen Sukkot, and we actually add that in Birkat Hamazon and other places for Sukkot. So the idea that you were moved here, unbelievable. Like you had the right Haftorah for that day. That's amazing. I want you to look. I love how great you get along with your sister. Not every siblings. Though when I look around here, most of the siblings get along really well, actually. Yeah. No. And that's always important. Your words that you shared about from Achrei Mot and Kedoshim, about goodness. And I love how you brought it to parents and respect. So, it says in the 10 Commandments that you shall respect your father and mother. And then it says in the fear your mother and father, doesn't it? Now, do you know why the difference in that is? Because they say that in addition to respect, you have to have a little bit of fear. What they mean is really awe. The sense of that you should be in awe of your parents for what they give you. And respect and awe is translated into the love that is given. And so you come from two great families, two wonderful families. And to be able to share this moment with all of them here, there aren't a lot of celebrations that are taking place during this time, are there? And we talked about you're going to look back and have great stories, right? Along with your grandparents, your parents, getting out of Iran, hardships they had. Nothing stops you, right? In Jewish life, you continue on, and no matter what, you don't let it stop you, and you didn't. And that demonstration is just so powerful. I'm going to share with you a blessing that's been passed on from generation to generation called the priestly blessing. It goes like this. May God bless you and keep you, Eli Sach. May God's presence, may you bring God into the world in terms of sharing and creating goodness. May you always be inspired by your family, your friends, and everyone here to be able to help bring goodness to this world and help bring peace. And we say, Amen. All right, we're going to continue. Hold on. Let me get over to my other section there. Hold on. We're gonna continue with the service. It's okay. I apologize. We're gonna have to keep going because I want to make sure that we get all the parts of the service right now because we're going to continue with a time. Chazan Mimi, if you will, please share with us a time. Continue with our service. We're going to have the Amidah, which for festivals, because it's Sukkot on Shabbat is superseded, and so we're going to do the festival Amidah. I'm going to ask you to rise, please. And back in your prayer book now, page 306. Page 306, you'll make your all the way there. It's the Amidah, and you'll follow for the Mincha. And then we're going to put in the additions for Shabbat. When we get there, those will be in the red as well. Eli's going to begin, and then Hazan Stein continue after him. Go ahead, Eli. Lead us, please.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avoteinu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak v'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel v'Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora El Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim V'Konei Hakol V'Zocher Hasdei Avot U'Mivi Goel B'neihem Ma'an Shemo Be'ahava Melech Ozer Ufoked U'Moshia U'Magen Baruch atah Adonai Magen Avraham Ufoked Sarah Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai Mechayem Etim Atah Rav Le'Oshia Morid Hatal Mechalkei Chaim Bechesed Mechayem Etim Berachamim Rabim Somech Noflim Verofeh Cholim Umatir Asurim Umekayem Emunato Lishenei Afar Michamocha Ba'al Gevurot Umido Melach Melech Memit Umechayeh Umatzmiach Yeshua V'ne'eman atah lecha chayot metim Baruch atah Adonai mechayecha metim
נקדש את שמך בעולם, כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מרום, ככתוב על יד נביאך, וקרא זה אל זה ואמר
קדוש, 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 אדוני צבאות, מלוך על הארץ כבודו.
קדוש, 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 אדוני צבאות, מלוך הארץ כבודו, ליומתם ברוך יאמרו.
ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו.
ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו, ובדברי קודשך כתוב לאמור.
מלוך אדוני לעולם, אלוהי ציון, לדור ודור, הללויה.
ימלוך אדוני לעולם, אלוהי ציון לדור ודור, הללויה. לדור ודור נגיד גודלך, ולנצח נצחים קדושתך נקדיש, ושבחך אלוהינו מפינו לא ימוש לעולם ועד, כי המלך גדול וקדוש אתה, ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
Continue silently with our prayers.
שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו, ויעבור ישראל.
Kaddish Shalem, page 230.
יתגלל ויתקדש שמי רבה, ויאמר יברכנותי וימליך מלכותי בחייכון וימלכון ובחיי לכל בית ישראל, בגלנו בזמן קריב ויאמרו אמן. יהי רבם מבורך, לעלם לעלם היה, יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל, שמי לקודשה ברכו לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תשבחתה ונחמתה לאמרן ועלמה ואמרו אמן. יתקבל צלותון ודהון לכל בית ישראל, קדום ובנשמיה ואמרו אמן. יהי שלום רבה מן שמיה וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרמיו הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו
Eli's going to lead us in Aleinu, page 231.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כי לא יחצון, ולא שמנו משפחות האדמה, שלא שם מלכנו תהם, וגול עלינו ככל העולם. ואנחנו מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ככתוב בתורתך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו
Page 232, the final prayer before we conclude with a song of celebration, the Mourner's Kaddish. Always at the end of our services, remember those who have gone before us. So if anyone here or if at home, if you have someone you're reciting the Mourner's Kaddish for, you're invited to rise at this time. Page 232, you can join along with me. Yit gadal v'yit kadash shemei rabah. Amen. V'alma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael v'agala u'bizman kariv v'meru. Amen. Yehei shmei rabba mavorach le'olam u'me'olmaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shemei d'kedusha b'richu le'ela min kol birchata b'shirata tushbechata v'nechamata v'miran v'yalma v'meru. Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shema v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'meru. Amen. Yehei shalom b'nana Yehei shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'meru. Amen. That celebration, you made it really grand. You made it really grand. You grand the that for us. Those of you who don't know, so kind of things. What do you think about that? How does it feel? We're going to finish up Shechianu. This is Shechianu moment. Shechianu is a moment you feel that this is a blessing and time is so sacred. So we're going to have you, Monica, come on. I want you to go up there with Eli and Lena and with Joel. And everybody stand where you are, please. Put your arm around your neighbor. You did this so great before. You were doing it. Put your books down. Just put your arms around each other. Let's celebrate this moment. I've been seeing a lot of people together. I see them over Zoom and you can't sing together. I want to hear this nice and loud. We're going to join together in the Shechianu, Chazan Stein. Here we go.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה.
Great big amen. So let's do it together. Here we go. Come on, Gigi. Let me hear it. Come on, Gigi. That's how the show that we're doing one more time. Here we go. All right, we're off of live streaming, so it's just